Look at these two distinct vacations. On one side, a neon-lit pool deck flowing with buckets of beer. On the other, a quiet meditation retreat. It is incredibly difficult for a single company to sell both of these experiences at the same time. Yet Carnival Cruise Lines built an empire trying to do exactly that. By 2004, Carnival Corporation reported a record $1.85 billion in net income on $9.73 billion in revenue. They achieved this scale by operating as the Walmart of the cruise industry. Carnival executed an unmatched cost leadership strategy, ultimately capturing nearly a third of all North American cruise passengers. This approach yielded profit margins exceeding 25%, achieved while maintaining the lowest average price point in the industry at roughly $175 per person per day. But to sustain that massive growth, Carnival's executives felt pressured to evolve. They began upgrading the physical product, installing sushi bars, adding supper clubs, and brand-name cabin amenities to attract a more sophisticated traveler. Here is the paradox of market dominance. In a mature industry, objectively improving a product's quality can actually destroy a company's economic moat if those improvements contradict the brand's established identity. Carnival's original strategy was built on avoiding premium customers entirely. Instead, they targeted the 84% of North Americans who had never sailed before. Before the 1970s, cruising was perceived as a formal, expensive 14-day commitment. It was an intimidating vacation designed for an affluent, refined clientele. Carnival's early product was entirely different. The company started with secondhand transatlantic liners. The food quality was variable, and the menus focused heavily on basic meat and potatoes rather than high-end dining. To sell this unrefined experience, Carnival introduced the fun ships positioning. This strategy completely bypassed the intimidation factor of traditional cruising, promising an accessible, high-energy entertainment experience instead of high-society luxury. The target demographic was highly specific: young, middle-class first-timers. They wanted a loud, floating party with belly flop contests and full casinos, not afternoon tea. Carnival's original brand equity was not built on offering a superior physical ship. It was built on aggressively owning the psychographic space of affordable, unpretentious fun. By the late 1980s and the 1990s, the physical ship itself, the industry hardware, became the primary competitive battleground. Rival cruise lines began constructing massive megaships. Carnival launched 100,000-ton vessels capable of carrying over 3,000 passengers at a time. This triggered a tit-for-tat escalation of onboard amenities. Carnival introduced signature elements like 6-deck-high neon grand atriums and massive spiral water slides on the pool deck. Royal Caribbean retaliated by launching the Voyager class of ships, equipping them with ice skating rinks, mini golf courses, and rock climbing walls attached to the ship's funnel. Even premium lines like Princess joined the fray, reaching into the mass market by adding features like 300-square-foot outdoor poolside movie theaters. This dynamic is known as product convergence. Competitors spent billions of dollars on unique physical innovations, but because every successful feature was immediately copied, the fleets eventually evolved into nearly identical floating malls. Hardware alone could no longer provide a sustainable competitive advantage. When physical products converge, the only remaining battlefield is the consumer's perceptual space. This phenomenon is known as perceptual encroachment. Royal Caribbean realized they couldn't just outbuild Carnival. They had to attack Carnival's monopoly on the word fun. Royal Caribbean launched the Get Out There campaign, deliberately avoiding traditional cruising imagery. They featured passengers kayaking and rock climbing to a fast-paced Iggy Pop soundtrack, redefining the experience around active, explorer-minded adventure. This positioned Royal Caribbean as a sophisticated, adventurous choice, leaving Carnival to battle its lingering industry reputation as the lowbrow Kmart of the Caribbean. In response, Carnival's executive management reacted defensively. Frustrated that consumers weren't giving them credit for their improved food and newer ships, executives decided they needed to refine and mature the brand. Carnival's decision to upscale was a reactive maneuver to defend its market share. They assumed that adding higher quality amenities would automatically translate into higher brand equity. To burnish the brand, Carnival introduced elite signifiers across its fleet. They added premium duvets to the cabins, installed sushi bars, and launched a presidential wine club. The tension is visible in their print campaign. At first glance, it signals serenity, featuring a calm yoga pose. But the mosaic reveals a thematic disconnect. The pixels are actually hundreds of chaotic photographs of crowded pools and party shots. This is the executive paradox in action. Management was desperately trying to push the needle up market, while simultaneously forbidding their marketing department from ever using the word gourmet in their materials. They were promoting a serene lifestyle of wine tastings and yoga, while the reality on board was driven by volume sales of $14 buckets of domestic beer. Ultimately, mixed signaling breaks a brand's equity. If a brand tries to be both a quiet spa and a loud party, it loses its distinct identity. The consumer can no longer confidently look at the product and say, "This brand is me." Carnival's stated strategy was to target the everyman, casting a net for consumers aged 25 to 54. Management believed that specific demographic segmentation was irrelevant. Their philosophy was that if you cast a bigger net with a wider variety of onboard choices, you will simply catch more fish. This broad approach masks two distinct threats. The first is active inertia. This is the danger of a brand stubbornly clinging to an outdated strategy, like relying on 18-year-old spring breakers, even as the surrounding market evolves. The second, equal danger, is brand confusion. This occurs when a company overcorrects, alienating its core, profitable customer base by bolting on premium features that the core audience does not want or understand. Trying to exclude no one actually results in appealing to no one. Surviving a converged market requires ruthless subtraction, stripping away all the features that dilute the brand's core meaning. On the psychographic spectrum, the far left is active adventure with Royal Caribbean. The far right is sophisticated relaxation with premium lines. Carnival's white space is dead center. They must drop a heavy anchor into entertainment fun. Entertainment fun is strictly defined by gaming, dancing, nightlife, and high-energy family dynamics. This makes it easy to filter future investments. A dedicated teen center with a Coca-Cola lounge is a brand-consistent decision. A presidential wine club is a brand-diluting distraction. Carnival cannot win by fighting Royal Caribbean on rock climbing or by trying to fight Princess on luxury. They can only win by dominating the entertainment psychographic so thoroughly that absolutely no competitor can touch it. True brand equity is not achieved by building the objectively best product with the most features. It is achieved through the ruthless, uncompromised alignment of every physical cue with a singular core identity.